Hi everyone, welcome back. Today let's look at the game between Nakamura and Wesley. Nakamura is a white and Wesley is a black here, and the white moves to d4, followed by knight to f6, develop the knight, bishop f4, develop the bishop and controlling the center, and plan to push the pawn to e3, and d5, a standard opening move, e3, another standard opening move, connecting the pawn in d4 and protecting the bishop in f4, c5, a standard opening move, pawn takes pawn, then e6 just to pre up the bishop in f8, b4 protecting the pawn in the c5, a5 is a fine move, giving pressure to the b4 pawn, c3 overprotecting the b4, protecting the b4 pawn. When the white captured the pawn in b4, the white will capture the pawn c3 to b4. Next is bishop to d7 to develop the bishop, just to develop queen b3. Queen b3 a little bit early for a queen. Pawn takes pawn, c takes pawn, and b6 increase the pressure in c5. Bishop d6, a bad development pieces, it moved it again twice. So knight e4 giving increased pressure to c5 and attacking the bishop in d6. Queen to b2. White plans to take the pawn to b6, and when the black bishop captured this bishop, the queen has opportunity to capture the pawn here in g7. Knight takes d6, or knight takes bishop, capturing the bishop. See, that's pawn takes knight, then queen to f6, so blocking and forcing the queen, and forcing the queen to exchange. Queen takes queen, and pawn takes queen, g to f6, b5. This is to block the white bishop, the black bishop, just to block, pushing this one here to block this this bishop. Bishop d6, starting to bishop d6 capturing the pawn and start controlling the central square. a4 just protecting the b5 pawn here, just to protect this one. So that's the main idea. King to e7, advancing the king and putting the king in a better square, and to pre up the 8th rank, so the rook can move freely. So the move can move, so that these two rooks can move freely here. So it's gonna be easy, and this location is safe for very safe for the king. Bishop d3, just developing the bishop towards the center and threatening this pawn here in h7. Rook to c8. Rook to c8 forfeit the right to castle and bringing the rook in the open file for a better use. The rook can deliver a check here in c1. Knight to e2, just to develop the bishop in the king side, and just to protect the c3, e4 and f4 square. That's the main idea of that move. And e5, stopping the f4 pawn to push forward and to control the center. f3, stopping the pawn to push forward in e4. f5, trying to control the center, and ready to push the e4 pawn. Rook a2, it's not much better, because uh, uh, just to activating the rook in a better position. Bishop e6, try increasing central control. Rook c2, but the Komodo in its Stockfish suggests to rook to b2. Komodo and Stockfish suggest that rook must go to b2. After here is bishop to, this is an in-between move, bishop to b4, checking the king, and the king moves to f1, just parry the check. Then rook takes pawn first. You need to take black take the pawn first, because when the rook capture this one, you can use the bishop to capture the rook. Rook takes rook, bishop takes rook, knight e to c8, just to attack the rook in a4. Bishop takes, yeah, just it's trying to exchange that bishop takes knight and knight takes bishop, and now still the rook is under attack, so the black moves to a3 just to attack the rook, just to attack the knight. And knight takes pawn, giving a check to the black, and king goes to d6, attacking the knight. The idea of this one, the rook to a3, is just forcing the knight to capture this pawn. As you can see, the knight can't go back here. He can't jump to f4 because that's guarded by the pawn, and the only here is guarded by the rook, is guarded by the king, and all. Here the only option here is to move the knight to capturing the pawn to b6. Then after this one, bishop to e6, controlling this diagonal, and this one controlling the c8 and the c4, which that the knight can't jump in that square. Then let's bishop b1, just bishop to b1 in order not to skewers. This is skewers, checking the king, and the king can go to f2, and the black can capture the rook here in h1, because when the rook moves here to a1, the king can move here only in f2, and now the rook supporting the bishop. So that's the main idea of that move. Next one is king to c5. Now as you can see, moving the king to c5 is attacking the knight, and the knight is, there's no a better move for the knight, because when the knight moves here, the bishop is, that c4 is guarded by the bishop, c8 is guarded by the bishop, and everything is guarded, so there's no option. So the knight moves to c8, and bishop takes knight, king to f2, just trying to develop the rook, and bishop e6, moving back to the center and trying to control the center and increasing the central control. g4, just giving a pressure to f5 pawn, and f takes g4, bishop takes h7, knight to d7, bringing the knight into the play, and rook to b1, just to protect the pawn here in b5. Rook a2, giving a check to the king. The king moved to king to g3. Pawn takes f3, h4, f5. king to f3, capturing the pawn, and that's it. Knight to f6, knight to f6, attacking the bishop, and that's it. After this one, after knight, let's see, and white resign in this position. As you can see here, is the black is ahead with the pawn here, because the next move here is okay, king to, let's move this one here, and e4, f6, e4, yeah. No, not that one. Hold. Where's my variation here? Knight f6, e4. Okay, knight f6, e4. E4 is white moves here. Knight f6, e4. Then f2, e4, bishop e4, rook a3 check, bishop d3, and rook takes d3, and king to f2, knight to e4, king to g1, and rook to g3 check, and that's it. And white resign here. All right, this is John. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.